The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow alone. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Welcome into a Friday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. If you're in the market for a brand new or slightly used automobile, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your wallet to check out the good folks at Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. They got a great sales department, fantastic service department, and a finance department that is not going to put you behind the eight ball financially when it comes to car payments. So before you sign your life away, the next 5 to 7 years of your life away with car payments, because unless you're independently wealthy and you're flipping down cashier's check for the amount of what the car costs, not many of us can do that. I sure as hell can't. So before you go and sign your life away, or at least the next 5 to 7 years of your life away with car payments, you owe it to yourself and you owe it to your wallet to check out the good folks at Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. All right, today's the day. Single game tickets are on sale over at Eastwood Field in Niles. The Mahoning Valley Scrappers are going to be embarking on a new era of minor league baseball. I don't even think you can say minor league baseball because, well, these kids aren't professionals quite yet. Major League Baseball Draft League, the inaugural season will begin 2 weeks from this coming Monday. In approximately 19 days, the home opener will take place at Eastwood Field. Yours truly with the play-by-play. You'll see and hear all the action right here on ysnlive.com. So Jordan Taylor will be calling in at 12:15. We'll get the latest on how the single game tickets are going. Single game ticket sales are going. From what we understand, so far so good. Also, we got to wonder about the situation going on in Trenton. The Trenton Thunder are supposed to be one of 6 teams that will be taking part in the inaugural Major League Baseball Draft League. However, in the past couple of weeks, we have found out, actually in the last couple of days, we have found out that the Buffalo Bisons, the AAA affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays, they have been sent to Trenton while this ballpark of theirs is going to be undergoing some major league renovations because on June the 1st, the Toronto Blue Jays will be playing the rest of their regular season in Buffalo. Now, the reason why is because you're not allowed to go to Canada. Again, the Canadian-American border is currently closed. No Americans are allowed in Canada. No Canadians are allowed in America, thanks to COVID. And because of this, well, the Toronto Blue Jays are not able to go to their home facilities in Toronto. So they are using their AAA affiliate in Buffalo, kicking the Buffalo Bisons out of Buffalo, and they are going to be in Trenton, New Jersey, where when they're home, they're the Trenton Thunder. When the Bisons are on the road, they're the Buffalo Bisons. where does this leave the Trenton Thunder in terms of the Major League Baseball Draft League? Hopefully we'll get an answer from Scrappers GM Jordan Taylor. And if indeed that franchise is going to wait until next year, then what are we doing? Do we have 5 teams? Do we get a 6th team somewhere? This should be entertaining, to say the least. So we'll have him on at 12:15 to not only talk about the single-game tickets that are currently on sale for the upcoming Major League Baseball Draft League season. We will also talk about the situation with a team in the Major League Baseball Draft League, the Trenton Thunder. Yesterday on the diamond, congratulations to Brandon Mikos from South Range. Tossed a no-hitter, struck out 12, 5-inning victory over Girard. Mikos had 1 walk, and that prevented him from pitching a 5-inning perfect game. The South Range Raiders, they will improve to 9-1 in the league, 14-6 overall, and they will be a very strong contender for one of those 2 district championships in Division III. And, of course, on Monday, Anthony and myself, when Anthony Hartwig wheels himself back in here, he and I will be talking all kinds of boys baseball, as the OHSAA will have the seedings and the entire district lineup, as we will dive into that head first, no questions asked. In Eastwood Field yesterday, Liberty pitcher Dwight Parker, who is headed to Westminster, he struck out 11 in his 3rd shutout victory, 1-0 shutout victory of the season. 3 times this year, Dwight Parker's been given 1 run in a game. And 3 times this year, he's made that a victory by pitching a shutout. He threw a 1-0 shutout against Newton Falls yesterday at Eastwood Field. Again, Dwight is headed to Westminster to play baseball for the Division III Westminster Titans. 94 punch-outs in 54 innings for Dwight Parker. And it'll be I'll be very curious to see what Liberty does in the tournament. Leopards are 8-11. They started out like a house of fire. They are 8-11 this season, but they did get the victory yesterday. Braden Gephardt tossed 2 hitters, struck out 7. Howland with a 5-inning victory over the Columbiana Clippers, 13-1. Columbiana rarely gets beat in 5 innings, let alone mercy rolled in general. Clippers fall to 14-5 on the campaign. Howland improves to 12-5 on the campaign. Columbiana didn't help themselves out at all. They committed 5 errors in the ball game. Elsewhere in high school baseball yesterday, Poland gets a victory over Niles 3-2. West Branch shuts out Carrollton 11-0. The Warriors are now 14-7 in the 2021 baseball season. Mineral Ridge blows out Bristol 15-1. Springfield over Crestview 10-4. The Rebels didn't help themselves out. 5 errors in the game, and when you give a team like Springfield an extra inning and 2/3 worth of outs, yeah, you're asking for trouble. You're asking for all kinds of trouble. Matthews a winner over Fairport. Yeah, we've been talking a lot about the Matthews girls and how good they are. The Matthews guys aren't too shabby either. 14 wins, 5 losses on the campaign. They get a 9-1 victory over Fairport. Not exactly a clean game yesterday in Vienna. Both teams had 2 errors apiece. And again, you definitely want to make sure that come tournament time, and the guys have an extra week where the girls are going to be playing their softball tournaments starting next week. Fingers crossed. Hopefully Mother Nature cooperates. Next week will be the final regular season for the guys, and an opportunity for the guys to tune it up and basically let's cut these mistakes and nip it in the bud right now, because come tournament time, you certainly don't want to give anyone extra base runners, whether it be walks, hit batters, or errors in the field. If you add all that up and you wind up giving someone an extra 3 innings of baseball, which is the equivalent of 9 extra base runners between walks, errors, and hit batters, your tournament life is not going to be very good. It's not going to be very long either. I can guarantee you that. All right, so we will talk some more baseball during the course of today. We got some softball scores from yesterday as well, but coming up in a bit, we will hear from the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Scrappers are embarking in a new era of baseball. They're no longer affiliated with the Cleveland Indians. However, this league promises to be better, talent-wise, than the previous 20 years where you were watching New York Penn League baseball. This league promises to be a little bit better talent-wise with a bunch of kids that are looking to improve on their draft stock. This is a Major League Baseball draft league. It's a one-of-a-kind league. It is in its inaugural campaign. Single-game tickets are going on sale today at Eastwood Field. By the way, if you want to get tickets, you give the Scrappers a call at 330-505-0000. That's 330-505-ZIP. Or you can go to the website mvscrappers.com. M as in Mary, V as in Victory, SCRAPPERS, mvscrappers.com. And they can guide you through the internet to grab some single-game tickets that are on sale today. So we will chat with Jordan Taylor in a bit. We will also get some clarification on one of the 6 teams that is supposed to be in the Major League Baseball Draft League this year, the Trenton Thunder. They are right now housing the Buffalo Bisons, the AAA affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays, while they're renovating the stadium in Buffalo for the Toronto Blue Jays to play their Major League Baseball games in starting on June the 1st. What does that mean for Trenton? We'll hopefully get some word from Jordan Taylor. Oh, by the way, before we go to break, I just want to remind everyone, especially those that were crushing the Indians in the offseason, Cleveland Indians are in first place right now. Now, I grant you that it is a very, very small sample size. The Indians have played all of 30 games, if I'm not mistaken. 17 wins, 13 losses, 1/2 game ahead of the Chicago White Sox, 1 full game ahead of the Kansas City Royals, and 6 games ahead of the preseason favorite Minnesota Twins. So those that were crushing the Indians throughout the winter months, and especially when Francisco Lindor was traded, and oh, by the way, Lindor was 0 for 24 going into last night. Finally broke out of an 0 for 24 skid. Congratulations, you're now 1 for 27. But again, the Indians are in first place after 30 games. Still a long, long way to go. But when you consider we're about 18.5% into the season and the Indians are in first place, that's not a bad thing. All right. Take a timeout. Jordan Taylor, general manager of the Scrappers, coming up next. Stick around. It's a Friday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com. and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Welcome back to a Friday edition of Running Points presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. As we go to the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, we find the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, Jordan Taylor. Jordan, I'm sure it's a busy, busy day in Scrappertown, USA, with the single tickets on sale starting today.
It is always a fun day though when we get the individual games on sale, and it's since 9 this morning when we put everything live. It's been busy with people either stopping in or purchasing online. So we're very happy with the results so far. Okay,
now I know that you guys have an awful lot of things going on every single day of the week, but for me the biggest thing that's always been money for minor league baseball teams are the fireworks. And every Friday when the Scrappers are home, you guys will have a post-game fireworks display. Are the Friday tickets going by a little bit quicker than the rest of the games?
Yeah, what usually happens, so opening day always tends to be the most popular when individual tickets go on sale, which also happens to be a fireworks night as well. And then Fridays kind of follow next in line, and then usually that first Thursday also tends to be pretty popular. And then behind that are the would be days where we're having giveaways usually.
All right, so
in terms of popularity.
If you were to let everyone know or give them a piece of advice in terms of what games or how many tickets are left or just the availability, what would you tell the Scrappers fans?
Yeah, I'd still say there's good availability, but in terms of being able to lock in your prime area where you're going to want to sit, the earlier the better. And we've seen, like I said today, a nice uptick with people stopping in and even still buying smaller season ticket packages as well, just because they want to lock in the same seat for 5 games or 10 games. So the earlier the better. We always tend to have a big rush the last the day of with the team here, but I'd say this year more than others due to having some limited capacity to come earlier to secure your seats.
Mahoning Valley Scrappers General Manager Jordan Taylor joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. It's pretty interesting in the fact that this will be the first time in club history, mainly because of the switchover, that we're going to be playing baseball in May at Eastwood Field. Do you find that the fans are a lot more receptive to the fact that we're now playing baseball in late May and the season ends prior to, and God willing, we're going to have one this year, the Canfield Fair as well as high school football?
Yeah, that's been a plus, overall from the feedback we received, and even just from our general business operation, putting games on the front end the calendar is much better. So having those late May, early June games, which we hadn't had, in the old setup, and then, even more so eliminating those late August, early September home games, which were always a challenge for us, with the things you mentioned, and, high school football, college football, thrown on top of that, where when that's all getting ramped up, that tends to be where people's interests are.
Jordan Taylor joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. I got to ask, because a couple of nights ago I stumbled upon something. I'm a huge fan of minor league baseball broadcasts. So I went on the MILB app on my smartphone, and I'm able to get all of the minor league baseball games. And if you're a fan of baseball, I would suggest anyone does this. This is an unbelievable app. You're able to listen to as many minor league baseball games as you want from as many minor league cities. Well, be that as it may, I stumbled onto the fact that the Buffalo Bisons are going to be playing their home games for the near future at Arm & Hammer Ballpark in Trenton, New Jersey. And that kind of put up a little bit of a red flag for me, because after all, the Trenton Thunder are supposed to be a Major League Baseball draft league team, one of the 6 teams that was put into the league. Now, the Buffalo Bisons are playing their home games in Trenton, while the stadium in Buffalo is undergoing some serious renovations, because June the 1st, the Toronto Blue Jays are going to be using the downtown Buffalo Stadium because, well, the Canadian border is shut down because of COVID. So what does this mean in terms of the Trenton Thunder being a part of the Major League Baseball Draft League? Are they going to be a part of this, or are they going to be exiled for a year?
Nope. They're still part of the league. So just going to be a little bit unique situation, which is the product of everything you mentioned. When Toronto was not going to be able to play their home games, they had to find a new home, which ended up being in Buffalo, where they were last year for their season. Which then, when that happened, Buffalo needed a place to play. So the most logical, destination was Trenton. So Major League Baseball, worked with them to accommodate that situation. But they still will have the draft league team. They will move back into Trenton's ballpark when the border opens up, and Toronto's going to be the trigger. So once they're able to get back and play games in Toronto, then everybody will kind of shift back into their situation as far as home ballpark. But for a temporary solution, Trenton will be playing at my understanding is a college in that general area for whether it's 10 games, 20 games, or the entire season, and then we'll move back as normal for 2022.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that they weren't going to be a road nomad type of team, because I know they did that in minor league baseball to a couple of teams whose stadiums were supposed to be finished, and unfortunately, and I think it was Hartford is one, out in the formerly known as Eastern League, now I guess it's the AA East. Their stadium was supposed to be finished, and they never got the stadium finished because of all kinds of union and stadium issues with the people that were in charge of the stadium. It was a complete mess, and Hartford wound up being a nomad. They were a team that played an entire season on the road, so I'm glad that we're not going to see the Trenton Thunder play an entire season on the road.
Nope. They're still based in Trenton, and on my call yesterday, with all the teams, we're traveling out there as normal, and just maybe a shift of what ballpark we play in. So there is some uncertainty as far as how many games that's going to be, or if it's going to be the whole season. It's some of that just is, well, all of it's going to be dictated by Toronto's situation.
Well, and obviously this is where Major League Baseball doesn't even know what the hell's going on, because it's more of a all right, let's get COVID under control, not only in the States. You got to get COVID under control in a country that has far worse problems than we do in Canada. God knows when this is going to be taken care of.
Sure. So, I mean, I think there's they're planning for it to be probably a longer. I think most likely it will be for the entire season, but I think there also will potentially split some games while the AAA teams on the road as well to get them into that ballpark at different points of the season.
Jordan Taylor, the Mahoning Valley Scrappers general manager, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. One of the other things that's going to be coming up very soon, as a matter of fact, 2 weeks from this past Wednesday, is the evening with Coco Crisp, the Mahoning Valley Scrappers manager. The folks that have been purchasing tickets, has anyone been talking about that particular event that's going on in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, that's been popular so far. Our manager has been our best promotion this year. So getting that opportunity to listen to him share some stories and get a chance for fans, give them the opportunity to ask him some questions. I think people are looking forward to that evening.
Yeah, and I got to say, I love doing when I was doing my minor league baseball. I loved having managers on every Sunday. To just have a Sunday sit down with the skip and just have a little bit of fun with that, talk about the week that was, and just talk about baseball life in general. And I'm really looking forward to having a Sunday conversation with him once a week. That's I think it's a great hire. It's the fact that the Scrappers were an Indians affiliation, and Coco was one of the more popular Indians in the last 15, 20 years. I think it's a slam dunk for the Scrappers organization as well as the Draft League to have Coco as the manager of this team.
Yeah, I think so, and it keeps that connection to Cleveland there, and his popularity, as you mentioned, was I'd say one of the more popular players in the last decade or so that Cleveland's had. So we've definitely has helped push tickets and interest in the team as we're launching the Draft League this summer.
Earlier in the week, we were talking about the fact that Prep Baseball Report is in charge of inviting the players to this league. Now, obviously, we're in the middle, by the way, just to preface all of this, the senior high school baseball players, the junior college and college eligible kids eligible for the draft are potential invitees by Prep Baseball Report to the Major League Baseball Draft League. Well, here we are. I mean, we're in the tail end of high school baseball season in Ohio. I'm sure that's not just the only state that we're in the tail end of high school baseball season. College baseball season is still kicking with the conference tournaments probably in the next 3 weeks or so. And as we have mentioned, you're not going to be seeing any of these kids until their season is over, not just regular season, but postseason. So, PBR might have an idea of who they want to invite, but I would imagine that they really haven't sent out invitations per se.
Well, yeah. So the way it works is all the players who are in this league are on a contract to play in our league. So there is, though, for all the reasons you mentioned, a lot of puzzle building with rosters. So somebody who, take whatever school you want to say, has a bigger run in the tournament than they expected, well, that's going to cause a delay for that player to show up to their respective team. So then you have guys who can fill in those gaps and have in some cases more players than you necessarily would need. So you're able to accommodate for that if there's any changes, because in some cases you're just predicting how long some of these teams are going to go in their postseason. But most have their conference tournaments coming up here in the next couple of weeks, and the bulk of players become available at that point.
Yeah, and this is the interesting part of this league. There's nowhere to go in terms of up. This is it. Yeah. I mean, this is the league. So if you're dominating this league, and you're also, oh, by the way, probably improving your draft stock exponentially. But if you struggle, okay, you can get cut off this roster. And let's be honest, Jordan, I mean, some of the kids that are going to be coming in may not have necessarily been given that invitation from the get-go. They're just filling a spot based upon how many kids are still playing postseason baseball. But if one of these kids decides to go on a tear and they are putting up some unbelievable numbers, hey, they're going to be kept on this roster for a while, and they're helping themselves out.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, some of the guys who will come in early, I mean, you'll see, a number, throughout the whole league, junior college players, for example. Well, in a lot of cases, those could be the best players that are in our league in terms of a prospect standpoint, because those kids have made Division I college commitments, most of them to Power 5 schools. They're going to play in this league. They're going to have a choice to make. They're going to get selected in the draft, at whatever round it may be, and they'll have that opportunity to decide, do I take the money and start my career, or do I go to Florida State and play for a year and see if I can bump it even higher. So I mean, they're all going to have choices to make, but it's going to be interesting how that all unfolds in the first couple of years, and how that plays itself out.
Yeah, and normally first-round draft picks, they're going to take the money. They're gonna get out of Dodge, because there's no other ceiling. I mean, if you're a first-round draft pick, you're going to get a ton of money. And look, I mean, at that point, you can go to college if your career fizzles, or God forbid somebody gets hurt, and they're done as a baseball player. Well, you have all this money. You can go back to school, make a life for yourself by getting a college education. But if you're a third, fourth, fifth, sixth round draft pick, well, you know there is a ceiling, or there is a little bit more room in the ceiling where you can bet on yourself. And then it'll be interesting to see how many players are going to stay with their college commitments should they take part in this league and improve their draft stock to the point where they're now going to be tempted with a very large bonus payday.
Yeah, it'll be very intriguing. Those 2 weeks after the draft, which is the window that they have to sign their pro contract. So I think their deadline is, this year it's August 1st. So seeing how many of them stick to that, or decide that they're just going to go back to school, or go to whatever college commitment they made.
One of the other things that I absolutely love about this league is the fact it's going to be geographical. So let's say that someone from college in Ohio gets an invite from the PBR. There's a really good chance that kid is going to be pitching or playing baseball on an everyday basis with the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, because, well, you want to be geographically friendly. And if this kid does have Ohio ties or grew up in Ohio, it makes sense where the family can make a weekend of it, or head out for a couple of weekday home games and watch their son or grandson or relative or best friend play baseball. Yeah, I mean that's one of the big pluses for this league, and just didn't happen in the old setup. I think in the 20 years I've been here, I think just a handful of even regional players came through Mahoning Valley. I mean, you're almost more likely on the visiting team to get somebody with a local connection. But in this scenario, I'd expect a number every year to have a pretty local connection, and that also helps us from marketing, community relations standpoint, and as you mentioned, those local players will bring a lot of people to the game, so that's a plus as well. Jordan, I'm curious, did Coco play for the Scrappers? Mm-hmm. He did not. He was more advanced when they acquired him. Gotcha. Yeah. All right. Jordan Taylor, the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. All right. So we have the single game tickets going on sale right now. The tickets for the evening with Coco Crisp, those tickets are going on sale right now as well. Give everyone the 411 on how they can get single game tickets as well as an evening with the Scrappers skipper Coco Crisp. Sure. I can find all the information on mvscrappers.com
stop by the box office or give us a call at 330-505-00.
All right, Jordan, always a pleasure, and keep those phones ringing today.
Sounds great. Thank you, Ron.
You got it. Jordan Taylor, General Manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Again, the single game tickets are on sale today. Single game tickets for any game in the 2021 Major League Baseball Draft League. The home opener is 19 days from today. That would be Wednesday, May the 26th. State College comes to town for a brief 2-game series. Fireworks after the game on opening night, Wednesday, May the 26th. If you want tickets to that, or any Scrappers game during the course of the home portion of the 2021 campaign, you can hit the Scrappers up 2 ways. You can go online, mvscrappers.com. That's mvscrappers, SCRAPPERS.com. Or you can give them a call, 330-505-0000. Also, 2 weeks from this past Wednesday, which is 12 days from now, an evening with Scrappers manager Coco Crisp. $25 ticket. It will get you food and drink. It'll get you a Q&A session. You get an autographed photo. You also get a voucher good for an upper box ticket to see Scrappers baseball during the course of the 2021 home portion of the Major League Baseball Draft League season. If you want to spend $25 and have an evening with Coco Crisp, the Mahoning Valley Scrappers manager, that is going to be taking place on Wednesday, May the 19th. Wednesday, May the 19th. That is going to be at Eastwood Field beginning at 6 p.m. If you want to purchase tickets, they're $25 each. You can go to mvscrappers.com. You can also call up the Scrappers at 330-505-0000. And again, the good news in all of this, with the season, Trenton is still a part of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. I'm sorry, it's still a part of the Major League Baseball Draft League. The Trenton Thunder will be playing their home games when Arm & Hammer Ballpark is not used. That's when the Buffalo Bisons are on the road. If Arm & Hammer Stadium is not being used, then the Trenton Thunder will be playing their games there. If the Buffalo Bisons are playing in Trenton, and again, Buffalo is playing right now in Trenton. That's their home stadium because the city of Buffalo is undergoing some renovations for the Bison Stadium in downtown Buffalo. The renovations are for the Major League team, which is going to be using the downtown stadium in Buffalo, their AAA affiliate. The Blue Jays are going to be using that stadium as their home stadium starting on June the 1st. And how long this is going to be, well, that's a American/Canadian decision. The American-Canadian border is currently closed due to COVID, so no Canadians are allowed into America, no Americans are allowed into Canada. Because of COVID, when the Canadian-American border opens, that's when the Toronto Blue Jays will head back to Toronto and play in their home digs, the gorgeous facility formerly known as Sky Dome. What is it, the Rogers Center now? They'll go back to Toronto. Buffalo will go back to their beautiful stadium in downtown Buffalo. And Trenton will have the Draft League team back to their home digs at Arm & Hammer Stadium in Trenton, New Jersey. But for right now, Trenton will be playing their games. When the stadium is in use, the Trenton Thunder will be playing their games at a nearby college, but they will still be in the Draft League. Not that the Scrappers are going to be playing them that often. I believe they only play them 6 times this year. Trenton comes to our place for a 3-game weekend series, and I believe The Scrappers head to Trenton for a 3-game weekend series during the course of the season as well. All right, 330-886-0813. We'll take a timeout. Be back with more. It's a Friday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer goes the extra mile to bring you the largest selection of vehicles at one convenient location. With guaranteed credit approval, I will find you the right vehicle and the right financing options for you. I am ready to go the extra mile to show you why no other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Jimmy Sutton here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and 2 of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
This is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, why shop anywhere else but Tri-State Ford? Choose from our great selection of pre-owned vehicles. Plus, we've got you covered with our exclusive Tri-State Ford Advantage. It includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty with your pre-owned vehicle and much more. Come see why so many customers from the Tri-State area buy their pre-owned vehicle at Tri-State Ford.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
Welcome back to a Friday edition of Running Point. Ron Potesta with you. We're with you till 3 o'clock, at which time it'll be Power Hour time. on ysnlive.com. We made mention of the baseball games that were played yesterday, and again, congratulations to South Range's Brandon Mikos. He tosses a no-hitter. He was one walk from a 5-inning perfect game. And again, setting the side up and down in order, 5 consecutive innings. That's 15 batters up and down in order. Not very easy to do. Not very easy to do. Brandon Mikos set down 15 batters, but not in order. He did have one walk, but he did throw the no-hitter, struck out 12. So, in essence, only 3 balls were put in play. That's an outstanding effort by Brandon Mikos. An 18-0 victory over Girard. That was a 5-inning job as South Range continues to impress this year. 14-6 on the campaign, 9-1 in the Northeast 8 division. Girard falls to 3-11 on the season. I don't think we made mention of this. Heartland gets a shutout victory over Lowellville. Jake Kling, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks, threw a 1-hitter as Heartland put up 3 in the second, 2 in the fourth, tacked on 5 runs in the 5th inning to go up 10-0, and they make it a 5-inning, 10-0 victory. And, of course, in Ohio, you have the 10-run rule, and it can be put into play after the 5th inning as well as the 6th inning. So it was a 10-run mercy rule game. Heartland a winner over Lowellville 10-0. South Range had a mercy rule victory as well, 18-0 over Girard. Made mention Matthews getting past Fairport 9-1. Matthews Mustangs are 14-5 on the campaign. This baseball team, they may not be as good as the softball team record-wise, but this team will provide some difficulties when we get into a tournament play. And keep in mind, the Super Size Me tournaments, we will have 2 chances for the local teams to get a district championship. So Matthews will certainly be a team that it will be in contention for one of those 2 prestigious district championship spots. Dwight Parker, Liberty senior Dwight Parker, struck out 11. Man, I'll tell you what, this kid, he's a good one. He has not been given a whole lot of run support this year. This is the 3rd time that his offense only gave him 1 run. And for the 3rd time, he pitches a 1-0 victory. They beat Newton Falls yesterday at Eastwood Field. By the way, Parker, who's going to Westminster on a baseball scholarship, he has 94 punch-outs in 54 innings. Not too shabby for the soon-to-be Westminster Titan. And again, Liberty, forget about the record for a second. 8 wins, 11 losses. As long as their pitching is, if their pitching is their A game, this is going to be fun. Liberty will have a very interesting tournament run in them if their pitching can continue to crank out an A-level type of game. Springfield knocked off Crestview. Rebels didn't help themselves out very much. Unfortunately, Sam Campbell was pitching, and the defense behind him, 5 errors in the game. You simply cannot do that against Springfield. Now, I got word today, mainly because I was supposed to umpire their doubleheader today against Sebring. That would be Springfield and Sebring. That doubleheader has already been rained out. So that game was postponed. Got word from my superior, John Mang, who is in charge of the Mahoning Valley Umpires Association, or at least on the high school level. The Springfield-Sebring doubleheader has been washed out. already. All right, Mineral Ridge winner over Bristol, 15-1. West Branch gets their 14th victory of the campaign. They shut out Carrollton 11-0. That was a 5-inning, 2-hit shutout for David Cunningham. Poland gets a nice victory over Niles, 3-2. This one was a little bit of a stunner. Columbiana does not get mercy ruled very often. Now, they were going up a division, taking on D2 Howland, but still, they don't get mercy ruled very often, and Columbiana did, as Howland beat them at Firestone yesterday, 13-1. Now, Columbiana didn't help themselves. They did commit 5 errors in the game. So unfortunately, that turned into a 13-1 setback. Let's get to the phone lines at 330-886-0813. Tony, you're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What's going on, brother?
So I know how Potesta Show works. You have to call your shot. You can't, after the fact, call in and gloat. So we won't do that. But what's it called when a professional baseball team, beats a team in a 4-game sweep?
That would be a beatdown sweep. If Anthony were here, I would have brought a little whisk broom, or better yet, Tony, I have my.
But did any of us call in and predict a 4-game sweep?
No, of
over
course
Kansas
not.
City?
No, absolutely not. But I do have my umpire little broom. It's a little tiny little broom that you sweep home plate off with. I might have to give Anthony one of my sweepers. Just to let him know, hey, my team swept your team, and here's your parting gift.
Okay, love you, Anthony, but I'm betting you would have really shut us all up if you just showed up today in a Royals uniform, Royals shirt.
Listen, I'm impressed with the start that they had, and obviously, I think Kansas City has better pitching than what a lot of people thought. Especially guys like Brady Singer. I think Singer's going to have a really nice year, and Lord knows that offense has some potential. I'm a big fan of Jorge Soler. I've always been one. I think Whit Merrifield is one of the best players in the American League that 90% of the casual baseball fans have never heard of, but he is certainly an elite baseball player. Kansas City has got right now, Kansas City's got a damn good team. Now, they need to work on their bullpen because their bullpen is frightening. But that starting rotation and that offense is legit. I don't know if they can hang around with the big boys for most of the year, but
isn't a good bullpen critical the way managers manage pitching staffs these days?
Absolutely, and I think that's going to be the downfall of Kansas City unless they get their act together. But, for all the people, and listen, I understand we're only 18.5% into the season. I get it. But for all the idiots that sat back and bitched and moaned about the Indians, talking about how god-awful they were going to be, stick it. Just stick it. And this team is not going to be nearly as bad as anyone thinks it is. And as long as the Indians have a solid rotation, that bullpen is absolutely frightening now that they've got guys that can throw the ball insanely hard. And I said this, their offense is going to pick up. And calendar is flipped. The offense is starting to pick up. And this team is nowhere near as bad as anyone thinks, and I'll stand by my prediction of 85 wins, absolute minimum, and if everything goes right, we're talking low 90s and a Central Division title.
We talked years ago about Nick Sandlin maybe being a steal in this draft, the draft that he came up in. I mean, he was the top pitcher in what the SEC, wasn't he?
Yeah, I can't say enough about him. He's just one of those
He's a little
kids.
guy, and the guys who go by the numbers are going to say that's not a 6'5" flamethrower.
No,
but he seems to get it done.
No, and I think a lot of folks looked at Tristan McKenzie and said, okay, he's 6'5", but he looks like Karen Carpenter's brother. I mean, good God, he's too thin. The guy, when he throws strikes, Tristan McKenzie is a damn good pitcher.
Say what you throws like who and looks like Karen Carpenter?
Yeah, he throws. He throws like oh God, what's the pitcher's name?
Chris Carpenter.
Yeah, he looks like Karen Carpenter's brother. He throws like Chris Carpenter.
I'm sorry if that offended anybody. I find that humorous, and I love and have great respect for Karen Carpenter. Thank you.
Well, yeah, I mean, she was one of the best singers in the world, and
my God,
certainly don't make fun of the issue.
What a sad story.
Oh God, absolutely, and I certainly would never make fun of the issue. But Mackenzie at 6'5", $160 soaking wet. That's not healthy. I know the Indians have been wanting him to.
What we just did was probably equivalent to shootings at a play of a president. Has it been enough time? Probably.
Yeah. It's other than the disaster. How was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? Yeah.
It's been long enough. You can say that. That's funny. Hey, you mentioned Matthews. I just want to throw something in. Class individuals, and I happen to know the guy. What a class individual their coach is. And I don't know if you've ever had a chance to call a game or meet the gentleman. Still a young kid coaching, comes from a lineage of coaches. His dad coached. And we always hear about all the other coaches, sons of coaches. He had no starters, no lettermen coming back this year. Did you know that?
Wow. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
look, man,
He lost two. I don't want to say elite because that's a big word. The great and elite, we throw those around too much. But he had a 90+ mile an hour high school pitcher last year.
Well, that's elite. That's elite.
Yeah.
If you're throwing 90+ in high school, that's elite because not many kids are throwing 90+ in high school.
Well, I wish you luck in getting one of his games. You'll see. He'll challenge you sometimes, but he does it so well. He'll question you. He'll question you, but not question. He'll leave it on the question you on rules, and you know what I mean, and not judgment. But he's really good at it, and he does it with class, and he treats the other team's kids as well as he treats his own. It's all about the kids. Nothing's about him. He's a winner.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, every year it seems Matthews always has a solid baseball and softball program, and here we are, another year where the Matthews girls are in the top 5. The Matthews guys are playing really well, and I expect both teams to be making a really deep run in the tournament this year.
Yeah, and maybe it's like when we started watching Gerard and we started watching Kennedy make their runs. Maybe we look for this team in a year or two, when some of these other kids mature.
Yeah, and listen, I'm going to be real curious to see what happens for sure. Hey, I gotta ask you because about a month or so ago, and I've been as everyone knows, I'm on Twitter and I'm on Facebook, and now that I have said I'm a member of Bill's Mafia on Twitter, everyone and their brother from Bill's Mafia has friended me. And a bunch of us have had this particular issue with the Buffalo Bills. About a month or so ago, I called up the Bills and I asked about season tickets. And they said they would not sell any season tickets to anyone outside of the Buffalo metropolitan market. And I questioned that, and I said, wait a second. I said, I'm 3 hours from Buffalo. My place is exactly 3 hours from your stadium. And if you're asking me to go up there 8 times during the course of the football season, I have no problem doing that. I mean, I can get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and leave at 8 o'clock in the morning, get up there by 11 for a 1 o'clock game or whatever. I mean, why are you discriminating? And I guess from what I understand, they've been doing this since 2014, and it's a way to make sure that the
2014, and when did the Pagolas buy the team?
Yeah, and they wanted to make sure that this was a situation where a third market person, i.e., the folks that get away with scalping tickets for a living, the companies that probably shouldn't even be in business right now, and if they wouldn't be if I were the benevolent dictator of sports. But it's an opportunity for the Bills to make sure that those tickets are not put into those people's hands. And I'm kind
the
of
Pagulas are very. And you got to respect them for this. And I'm going to go off on a tangent in a minute here about an ex-president and the nastiness he tried to pull on these people. But the Pagulas are very Buffalo-centric and seemingly really great family people and great community people. And I have to say I'm glad they're doing it. I feel bad for people like you who would happily make the trek 8 times a year. But if that's the sacrifice they have to make to maybe moderately offend some people, I think it's the right thing to do because the Bills Mafia, the local Bills Mafia people are probably very appreciative of it.
No, and listen, it's not a real big pain for me because, I mean, if I really wanted to, I could call my cousin up and say, hey, look, put the season tickets in your name. I'll give you money for the season tickets, extra money in your pocket for your trouble, and go from there.
Yeah, you could, and that would accomplish the same thing. Would accomplish the same thing they want to have happen up there. Local people being served, by extension through, a family member by extension, but still. No, yeah. I think I don't have any problem with them, and they seem to walk the line pretty well about not offending people, but serving their community, and I think that's great.
I'm wondering if the Browns do the same thing. I mean, obviously, if you live in the Youngstown area, you're about an hour and change away from Cleveland. I would assume that it would not be that big of a deal for anyone in the Youngstown area to get season tickets for the Browns. And God knows, up until last year, it was pretty easy to get season tickets for the Browns. But the only thing with that is you have to pay that god awful PSL fee for the stadium, which that would be an immediate turnoff for me.
Yeah, I again, I won't comment on the Browns, but we're their fans. But since I started following the Josh Allen Buffalo Bills, the Bills just do it right. I just love their community, their football community, and the way they manage their resource there. That's just pleasant.
Well, I'll definitely go up there this year. No questions asked about that, and we'll definitely have to make the trip up there because that's a fun time.
Fantastic. No, I won't comment about the ex-president and the nastiness he did to Bon Jovi to get Bon Jovi out of the running for that, undercutting him and trying and demeaning his credibility, imputing his credibility to undermine him in the purchase of that team.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it was horrible.
Yeah,
it was horrible. It was they were nasty lies.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And if you can have nasty lies against somebody and then whine when nobody, about bad press, shut up.
Yeah.
So I'm glad the Pagulas got the team.
There you go. Hey, how's the young boy doing? Where is he going to school, Tony?
Well, I don't want to get into a lot of that, but he's played Matthews, by the way. So,
okay.
He's a freshman. He's starting third in pitching. He's going to be a super big kid. He's like 6'2", and he's a freshman.
Please tell him to play basketball.
By the way, he hasn't started growing yet, and I know that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's get him on the basketball floor.
It's familiar. It's genetic. We grow late. What's that?
Get him on the basketball floor.
Oh, he's playing basketball too.
There you go.
I'm so disappointed. He wants nothing to do with football or track right now.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, I know, but the things I used to do. But I'm not disappointed. Go out and have fun doing the things you love to do. And
well, I mean,
he's showing a passion. He's showing a passion for both of them.
It's going to be difficult, and I suppose I'd love to have some of the kids that are playing both baseball or softball and running track because the commitment for both of those programs. What happens? What happens when you have
an argument I had with their athletic director. That's not an argument. I never argue.
Yeah.
A discussion.
Yeah,
But a disappointment I had.
Yeah.
He would have done both. He's a very, very good discus thrower. Skilled right now. He still hasn't muscled up enough. But speaking of that, I want to talk about McDonald's program. When I have a chance, I'll call back another time.
No, listen. Congratulations to McDonald on winning the Trumbull County Championship for the guys, and then they turned around and finished in second place in the entire Trumbull County for the girls. That's a hell of a track program.
Yeah, but you know what's, and I know a little bit about the track program, but the woman who, and I don't know if it's her niece and nephew or her son and daughter or a combination of those, she is the reason their weight guys dominate. They got another kid who's probably going to win state in shot put and discus again this year. And this is a tiny little school that just keeps producing those people. Coaching is critical for these kids.
Oh, yeah.
Critical.
Yeah.
And she just keeps producing them. The name's slipping me right now. I mean, they produced a kid who went and won an NCAA championship in the hammer throw. Come on.
Yeah, Ryan Henry is the shot putter. He threw 58 feet 10 inches, and I mean that's 5 feet better than anyone who threw it. And then he won the discus 174 and 5 inches. That's 23 feet further than the nearest competitor. I mean, those are insane numbers.
If you want a comparison to the quality of a discus thrower and the quality of a shot putter, basically take the shot put and multiply it by 3, or the discus and divide by 3, and you'll see. So 150-foot discus throw is probably as equivalent, eliteness-wise, to a 50-foot shot put.
Yeah.
60 and 180.
Yeah.
So just throw that out there. So he's right about on par. He's about
he's 3 to 1.
He's a shot putter.
Yeah, because 58 times 3 is 174, and he threw it 174 feet. So he's right there.
He's about just as competent in both events. So, but it's funny because I don't know if I finished the point. Her relatives are distance runners, but she's creating these great, throwers.
Well, it's amazing what McDonald has done with their track and field program, and this just isn't recent. I mean, good God, they've been doing it for a long, long time. It's just an amazing program.
And they've had some great. The Dimitroviches, I think they're brother and sister, I think.
Yeah.
And they've done a great job. Their father was a track coach, I think, at Kennedy. He produced some really good weight throwers at Kennedy. But the root coming through there and doing what he did there, I mean, just great coaching, and you can't dismiss great coaching for these kids.
When we start talking about dynasties in this area, and the talk is always about the popular sports, and obviously Cardinal Mooney you'll always hear about Cardinal Mooney and the amount of championships that they won, whether it be from Coach Butchie or anyone post Coach Butchie. The non-ancillary sports, the sports that maybe not, they don't get the publicity that a football or a basketball gets. What Cheryl Weaver has done in Champion is every bit as good, if not better, than what Cardinal Mooney's done in their history. And I would argue that McDonald is getting very close, if they haven't already reached that summit, where they have some hardware.
When you say McDonald, you've got to also say Maplewood in their distance events.
Yeah, they're cross country
in their distance, and
absolutely
cross country in their distance runners.
So, yeah, absolutely.
And the connection there is the Roop origin. So
yeah,
the Roops are out Maplewood.
It's amazing. I mean, if we and one of the reasons why YSN is a popular place. It's not just about football, basketball. I mean, we do throw down some track and cross country and softball and. Yeah, I mean it's about time these schools get recognized, and Maplewood cross country, that's a dynasty up in Trumbull County. They have won a tremendous amount of state championships with their cross-country program. So, it's about time that these
now
schools
you
get
mentioned Maplewood,
recognized.
somebody just told me this the other day. They don't have a football program out there.
No, they don't.
And they produced at one point they produced a shirt for their cross-country runners, and it said, "Hey, football players, your punishment is our sport." I thought that was great.
It is pretty good. I'll give them that.
So, okay, my friend, I'm going to run. Great talking to you, and it would have been great to call the bank shot ahead of time, but we didn't do that. So, Anthony, you're off the hook.
No bank shot here. I'm just glad they got the 4-game sweep, and the umpire's little broom is going to go to Anthony just to see his face on Monday.
Speaking about umpires, how would you like to have Angel Hernandez's reputation?
No, thank you. No thanks. And from what I understand, Kansas City's playing Chicago, and that umpiring crew is sticking around and umpiring that weekend series. I can only imagine how many people are going to get ejected that weekend. First of all, Angel Hernandez has no business being a crew chief. He has no business being in Major League Baseball. He has no business being a crew chief. I don't understand how in the world he is still in Major League Baseball, and I have a sneaking suspicion the union is making sure that he stays in the game, which is not a good look for any union.
Well, he's already complained racial issues with them.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. On that call that he missed or guessed on, how many in a Major League game? I'm sure maybe they have more for the playoffs, but in the standard Major League game, how many officials do they have on the field?
4. You have the home plate umpire, first, second, and third base.
Okay. Now let me ask you this question. Would the better call have been not to make a call rather than guess?
Well, I mean, they didn't make the call from the get-go.
He signaled it was a catch. He signaled it was a catch apparently, and the guy went back from third to second to tag up.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. No. Look,
So,
I mean,
isn't it better not to make a call and then after the play have the other umpires come in and correct a bad call and out?
Then you'd have some mass confusion, because if you don't make a call, then everyone is assuming that, hey, he didn't make the catch, so we're off to the races. Well, if you find out, hey, this guy actually did make the catch, you can't exactly say, hey, all these guys go back to their position.
Is a catch called required?
Well, something's required. Something's required.
Okay, then it's the runner's responsibility to determine if it was caught or not. Then, right?
Yeah, but if Angel Hernandez had said, "Hey, no catch," then okay, everyone's going to be taken off running full bore, whatever. All right, he said, "Okay, this is a catch." So the one guy tags up, scores. The other guy stays at second, and then they figure out, no, that wasn't a catch. So now they got to put the runner at second base. They got to put him at third. It was just weird. And Francona was pissed because, hey, wait a second, you originally said it was a catch. Why are you getting an outside opinion? You're the umpire that was, that saw this better than anyone. Why are you getting an outside opinion? I mean, I kind of sort of understand where Tito's going with that, but
could Tito after the fact have come back in if the call were reversed? If he would have called, if he would have made the correct call and Tito disagreed with it, could he have asked for a second opinion?
Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Now, I think Tito was more mad that they changed the call, that he had made a call and then blew that call. Then they got the call right, but by getting the call right, well, now you got to move runners in certain positions. But now looking back on this, had he said, okay, we're just going to say that this was, If it were the other way around, Tony, and the kid actually made the catch, but Hernandez blew the call, I think Tito would have been even more outraged, because then you would be like, well, wait a second. Where are the runners going to go? Are the runners going to stay where they are? Are you putting them one base up? I mean, if they're staying where they are, no harm, no foul. But if they're moving people up a base, I think that's when someone would lose their mind. But and Tito had said, I was thinking about protesting the game, but he was so mad at Angel, he just, he said, nah,
Well, he won the game.
Angel.
You can't protest the game you won.
No, exactly. Once the game is won.
Because remember, they swept the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, exactly. They swept them, so they didn't lose one of those games. So anytime you protest a game, but the game is won by the team that's protesting, the protest goes out the window because you won the game. So it's irrelevant to protest a winning game.
Right. And we know they won because.
Yeah,
okay.
And they won because they swept the Royals.
Right, okay. Well, I've got enough of that in there today. Okay, I'll talk to you some other time.
I meant 330-886-0813. Have we mentioned that the Indians swept the Royals yesterday? 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. With you till 3 o'clock, at which time we will have Power Hour coming up from 3 until 4. All right, we had some softball scores from yesterday. Ursuline extended their unbeaten streak to 18 games as they get a really big victory over a very good Marlington team, 14-2. Marlington is they're not a bad softball team, kids. And Ursuline beat this team in 5 innings in Marlington, 14-2 your final score, as the Ursuline Irish are now 18-0 on the campaign. Marlington, and I'm trying to remember where Marlington is seated in the in this whole thing, and they're number 1. They're the number 1 seed in Division 2. They're going to be playing in the Hubbard District. They have the number 1 seed throughout the entire Super Size Me District tournament, and Ursuline beat them in 5 innings, 14-2. That should pretty much tell you just how good this Ursuline team is. Really good pitching duel between Crestview and Newton Falls, as Brubaker wound up striking out 8, walked 4. Crestview knocked off Newton Falls 1-0. Tavaroch is the tough luck loser for Newton Falls. Didn't deserve the losing fate for sure. 7 punch-outs, 1 walk. Both teams had 4 hits. Crestview scored a run in the bottom of the first inning, and it held up as the Rebels knocked off Newton Falls 1-0. Crestview is the 5 seed in D3, and they are going to be playing D3 in Youngstown in the South Range District, where those games are going to be played at Farmers National Bank Field on the campus of Youngstown State University. Crestview is the 5 seed. They're in the bottom bracket with number 4 Columbiana. Howland loses to Canfield. Cardinals go to 12-6 in the campaign. They hold off Howland, who scored 2 times in the top of the 7th, had the tying run on base, but could not get the run in, as Canfield knocked off Howland 4-3. Columbiana shut out United 7-0. Torrey Long, 11 punch-outs, 1 walk in the victory. Linhart homering for the Clippers. She drove in 2 runs in the victory. Springfield, a 14-3 winner over Liberty. Matthews is 18-4 on the campaign. They conclude a perfect regular season in league play as they defeat Fairport 19-0. It's a no-hitter for Emma Gates, 12 strikeouts, 2 walks in the victory. South Range winner over Girard, 15-2. That was a 5-inning affair. Bree Kohler, 9 strikeouts, no walks. She also had 3 hits along with Reagan Irons. Samantha Susani had 2 hits. Jimmy Farron, a couple of hits. 15-hit attack for South Range. They get a 15-2 victory over Girard in 5 innings. Poland shut out Niles in game 1 of their doubleheader, a 5-inning affair, 18-0. McDonald with a no-hitter, 3 strikeouts, no walks. In the nightcap, Poland knocked off Niles 17-1. Again, McDonald, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. She gets the victory. That was a 3-inning affair as 17 runs, 13 of those runs scored in the first inning as Poland sweeps Niles in a doubleheader. Brookfield defeats Mineral Ridge. All of those runs were scored early. Brookfield scored 3 in the bottom of the first inning. Mineral Ridge tacked on 2 in the top of the second, and that was it. That was it for the runs. Brookfield had 7 hits. Mineral Ridge had 6. Brookfield winner 3-2 over Mineral Ridge. Shingledecker had a 3-run homer in the bottom of the first inning for Brookfield to pace the Warriors to the victory. West Branch goes to 16-5 on the campaign. They shut out Canton South yesterday, 8-0. Jordan Anderson, 11 strikeouts, no walks in the victory. And Hubbard beat Struthers 5-2 as Croyle picked up the win. She punched out 10, walked 3 in the victory for the Hubbard Eagles as they defeat Struthers yesterday on the diamond in girls softball 5-2. All right, 330-886-0813. We're back in a bit on this soggy Friday edition of Running Point. Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience and comprehensive wealth strategy, we assist our clients attain their goals. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit wrswealthadvisors.com. Good luck, athletes.
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well-appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
If you're looking for a new Ford vehicle, why shop anywhere else but Tri-State Ford? Choose from our great selection of new Ford models. Plus, we've got you covered with our exclusive Tri-State Ford Advantage. It includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty with your new Ford. Come see why so many customers from the Tri-State area buy their new Ford at Tri-State Ford.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
Welcome back to a Friday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Ooh, boy, I had a brain fart there for a second. If you're in the market for a brand new or slightly used automobile, do yourself a favor, do your wallet a favor, and check out the good folks at Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. They got a great sales department, fantastic service department, and a finance department that is going to do their damnedest to try to get you into a car without giving up a ton of money. I mean, after all, unless you're independently wealthy and you're going to be handing over a large sack of $100 bills to the salesperson that sells you a car, you're going to have to take out a loan. I mean, 99% of us will have to take out a loan when we purchase a car. And, well, before you sign your life away, or at least the next 4 to 7 years, actually it's more like 5 to 7 years, because these days you're not going to be doing much of a 48-month loan. If you're purchasing a car, not leasing one, but purchasing a car, I'd say at the very minimum you're going 5 years, maybe 4, but probably 5 and closer to 7 if you're looking at a brand new car. So before you put 4 to 7 years of your life in signing checks and paying the bank for the monthly car loan, you owe it to yourself, and as I've mentioned, you owe it to your wallet to check out the good folks at Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. Indians are in first place, in case you haven't noticed the smile on my face. The Tribe took over first place yesterday by sweeping the Kansas City Royals. The Indians are 17-13 on the campaign. They're 1/2 game better than Chicago. White Sox have had all kinds of injury problems, and Louis Robert going down with an injury, which he's going to be out for a substantial amount of time. That's not good for the White Sox. Kansas City now on a 5-game losing streak. They've dropped 7 of their last 10. Minnesota's been in neutral all year long. I don't know what the hell's going on over there, but the franchise on a 3-game losing streak, they've dropped 6 of their last 10. They're 11-19 on the campaign. Now, they haven't buried themselves, but they are 6 games out of first place, and you're starting to get into that area where you better start playing better baseball here pretty quickly. Now, there's still a ton of time left. Don't get me started. There's still a ton of time left. Obviously, you've only played 30 games. I mean, you still have 132 games to be played, and a lot of things can happen. The Twins are currently 11-19, 6 games out of first place. Tigers have had a miserable year. They're 9-23, the worst record in all of baseball right now. They are 9-23. They are 9 games out of first place. Their run differential right now is -68. Yikes. They have played 32 games. They still have 130 games left to play. The Tigers at 9-23, 9 games in back of the Indians. The Indians are going to be playing interleague baseball, which I am not a fan of in any way, shape, or form. I'm not a fan of interleague play, mainly because you're playing 2 entirely different styles and two entirely different rules in terms of baseball. The National League has their pitchers hit. The American League has the designated hitter for the pitcher. It's 2 completely different set of rules. It would be the equivalent of playing a interconference game in football where the AFC has 12 guys on offense and the NFC only has 11 guys on offense. That's essentially what we're dealing with here. Let's be honest, pitchers, by and large, they're not very good hitters. Hence the reason why in the early 70s, the American League decided, hey, why don't we get rid of the pitchers hitting for themselves and let's start talking about the DH, because they had in 1969, after Bob Gibson had an unbelievable season in which he had an earned run average of 1.12, which is insanely low for a starting pitcher. In 1969, they lowered the mound about 5 inches. And the theory was, okay, you're going to get better offense. You should be able to get better offense. The mound is going to be lowered 5 inches. We should be getting some better offense. That and the fact that we've got some expansion in the National League. Montreal and San Diego were becoming brand new franchises. We should be able to get a lot more offense. And for a while, the first 3 years, it worked. In the American League in 1972, the offense really wasn't all that great. So they said, you know what? Let's experiment with this. We're going to use a designated hitter, and the pitcher is no longer going to bat for themselves. We're going to get more offense. Even way back 50 years ago, or close to 50 years ago, owners were still thinking that offense is what's going to sell tickets in baseball. As it turns out, by and large, pretty much right. So the American League experimented with this. The National League said, hell no, we're not going to do that. Pitchers are going to hit in the National League. So that experiment is now 48, 49 years old. I mean, it's not an experiment anymore. It's pretty much a reality now. Been a reality for quite some time. And because of this, when they decided to do interleague play in the late 90s, I wasn't on board with it. And I'm still not on board with it because Major League Baseball's not playing by the same rules. If you go to a National League ballpark, you're not going to have a designated hitter. And I'm of a belief that the DH should not be put into baseball. The DH is simply a pinch hitter for the pitcher. I don't buy it. I'm not a fan of players that don't play out in the field but still get 3, 4, 5 at-bats a game. I'm not a fan of the DH. Now, I understand why you have the DH. I'm just not a fan of it. In the National League, pitchers hit. And it sets up a very interesting brand of baseball in the National League where when the pitcher spot is due up, there's a little more strategy involved. If a pitcher spot is due up, well, do you pinch hit for this guy? If he's cruising, do you let him hit? If it's a close game and he's cruising, do you still let him hit? There's a lot more strategy involved when the pitcher's spot is due up in the batting order. Also, if the pitcher is due up, but he's getting shelled in the previous half inning when they're on the field, do you make a double switch? And do you take out the guy that made the last out in the last inning because he's down in the bottom of the lineup now? He would be due up 8th or 9th in the lineup. So do you take him out and put the pitcher in that spot while taking the pitcher out of the game and putting the outfield replacement in the pitcher's spot, the pitcher's replacement in the outfielder spot, where the spot in the order is deep down in the order where that pitcher could conceivably go 2, maybe 3 innings. There's some strategy involved in National League Baseball, where the American League, not so much strategy. I mean, there's still strategy involved, obviously, but not so much strategy because, well, the DH takes away that strategy. But now, you have interleague play. Well, when can we play the DH? Well, when you're in American League ballpark, you'll play with a DH. When you're in the National League, you're going to play with the pitcher hitting. Look, I mean, one of the many problems with baseball is decisions like this. You should have never had interleague play. You shouldn't have had interleague play until you fixed the designated hitter spot. And, again, I'm not a fan of the DH. I've never been a fan of the DH. However, I also understand that you want more offense in the game. And subtracting the absurdity of loft angle and all this other bull crap, which is what it is. If you want to go with a DH, okay. Well, you have the DH as long as the starting pitcher's in the game. Once the starting pitcher is taken out of the ball game, your DH is taken out of the ball game as well, and the pitcher's spot is put into the spot in the lineup with the designated hitter. And then you're playing with the pitcher hitting. And if you want to, pinch hit for that relief pitcher with somebody coming off the bench, that's great. Look, I think it would be a perfect opportunity to get a little bit of both. A nice compromise, if you will. I don't know if the union would go for it, but I think it would be a tremendous compromise where you would still have the designated hitter as long as the starting pitcher were in the game. But as soon as the starting pitcher is taken out of the ball game, now we're playing by National League rules. Now, obviously, you're not going to have your pitcher hit. So this would make for some very entertaining managing. And if you're a team like Cleveland who has loaded their roster with a bunch of pitchers, now you have to have a second thought on that. I think the Indians in their 26-man roster, I believe they have 12 pitchers and 12 pitchers and 14 or 13 everyday players. Well, 9 of those everyday players are in the lineup, so now you got 4 guys left. One of them is the backup catcher. You don't touch him. So in reality, you only have 3 guys left. So it would make things entertaining, would certainly make things entertaining if you did that. Plus, it would be a great compromise, not to mention the fact that you can now play baseball with one general set of rules instead of the garbage that we've seen since interleague play began, which is, you're in a National League park, you got to play by these set of rules. And if you're in the American League, you got to play by a completely different set of rules and have the DH hit and no strategy in comparison to the National League. So I'm not a big fan of interleague play right now. And I do understand that early on, the owners are all about the short-term money. All owners are about short-term money. I mean, that's human nature. That's in their DNA, not just in baseball, in all sports. All owners are looking for a quick buck. And they got it. Interleague play, oh man. Opportunity to see, you mean I get an opportunity to see the Mets and the Yankees play a game? If you're a New York fan, absolutely sign me up. You mean I get an opportunity to see the Cardinals and the Royals play other than the World Series that they've been involved in? All right, sign me up. You mean I get a chance to see the Reds and the Indians? Yeah, sign me up. Well, this weekend is one of those games. The Reds come to Cleveland for a 3-game series against the Indians. And I wouldn't have a problem with it if we had one set of rules, but like I said, we don't have that one set of rules. But Major League Baseball wanting that quick buck like they did in the 90s when they did interleague play. Now it's a who gives a crap. There's really not that urgency to go to the ballpark to watch something that you've seen for the last 20 years or 20 some odd years. Anyway, Wade Miley on the hill for the Reds, the left-hander, 3-2, 2.67 ERA. Zach Plesac on the hill for the Indians. His last time out was a big-time effort. Plesac 2-3, a .478 earned run average, 7:10 game time. The Pirates are in Chicago taking on the Cubs. Buccos are 13-17. Cubs are below 500 at 15-16. Trevor Cahill on the hill for the Pirates. He's 1-3, a .740 earned run average. Zach Davies on the hill for the Cubs. He's 1-2. He's got an .822 earned run average. The 28-year-old, I don't know what the heck has gone wrong with him, but he's got an ERA over 8. This should be an entertaining game. I don't know if the wind's blowing in or not, but this could be, if the wind's blowing out, this could be one of those both teams are in double digits type of an affair at Wrigley today. But that's only if the wind is blowing out. So the Pirates are in action in Chicago against the Cubs today at 2:20. The Indians, weather permitting, they'll be taking on the Reds tonight at 7:10 at Progressive Field. By the way, the Indians are going to be playing interleague baseball this weekend and the start of next week when the Cubs come to Cleveland. That'll be the first time the Cubs have come to Cleveland. Maybe not. I wanted to say this was the first time the Cubs came to Cleveland since beating the Indians in the World Series, but I think they've been in Cleveland since then. I want to say they were in Cleveland before, but the Cubbies are in Cleveland the beginning of next week as the Indians are playing, and I want to say 6 games. The Indians are playing 6 games. No, they're going to play 5 because they're off on Monday. They're going to play 5 interleague games at Progressive Field, 3 against the Reds. Monday, May the 10th is an off day, and then 2 games against the Cubs. The second game will be an afternoon affair. And then the Indians go out of town. They go on the West Coast. They'll play in Seattle for 4, and they have the Angels for 3 before returning home on Friday, May the 21st, for a weekend series against Minnesota. So there you go. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline open for business. Hit me up. We can talk some local sports, and obviously Monday, Anthony Hardwig and I will go all crazy about the baseball tournament. We will have the seeds. We will have the district tournament matchups, and we will go hog wild over those district matchups. By the way, next week, weather permitting, knock on wood on that one, next week the softball tournament begins in earnest. So we will certainly do some previewing of the softball tournament as well. And, yesterday we made mention Ursuline, the number 1 seed in the D3 Super Size Me tournament took on the number 1 seed in the D2 Super Size Me tournament in Marlington, and it was all Ursuline as they defeated Marlington 14-2. Pretty much gives you an idea of just how good Ursuline is this year in softball. That is that's a top-notch D2 program in this area that Ursuline defeated. Mercy rolled them in 5 innings. Man, that's impressive. All right, we'll take a timeout, be back with more. It's a Friday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer goes the extra mile to bring you the largest selection of vehicles at one convenient location. With guaranteed credit approval, I will find you the right vehicle and the right financing options for you. I am ready to go the extra mile to show you why no other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Jimmy Sudman here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and 2 of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Welcome back to a Friday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Ron Potesta with you. Hey, just a reminder, Youngstown State this morning finalized their 2021 schedule. Normally, the Penguins would be playing an 11-game schedule and hopefully, fingers crossed, a playoff schedule if they were good enough. Well, because of COVID and because the Penguins did have a spring season, by the way, the national semifinals in FCS are going to be played this weekend. The lone team left in the Missouri Valley Football Conference is South Dakota State. They will be playing this weekend in the national semifinals in FCS. We'll get to that in a little bit. But this fall, YSU will be playing a 10-game schedule, not an 11-game schedule that they would normally play. This year, it's going to be a 10-game schedule. They will open up on Thursday night, September the 2nd. Thursday night, September the 2nd, against Incarnate Word. I feel like I'm going to a church service when I'm hearing this college. Incarnate Word at Stambaugh Stadium. It's going to be the first meeting between the Penguins and Incarnate Word. That will be Thursday night, September the 2nd, and that game is going to begin at 7 o'clock. And then on September the 11th, 9 days later, Penguins are going to have their money game. And again, the Big Ten has kind of sort of backed off a little bit on the whole idea of completely freezing out the FCS. About a year or two ago, they were looking to freeze out the FCS and just have the mid-major conferences playing the Big Ten. But they have decided that they are going to go and allow the FCS schools to play the Big Ten. So on September the 11th, the Penguins will be traveling to East Lansing, and they will be taking on Michigan State. That's going to be our money game on Saturday, September the 11th, when the Penguins will take on the Michigan State Spartans out of the Big Ten Conference. Now, the next week is going to be an off week, which that's probably a good thing because when you're taking on a team, and Michigan State, they're probably not going to be that good of a team in the Big Ten this year, but they're a substantially larger school than Youngstown State. They have more scholarships. They're a bigger program. They play FBS, where the Penguins are FCS. They're a Power 5 conference. The Penguins, nowhere close to that. You want to have an off week. And in an 11-game season, you may have wanted to put the off week there. But in a 10-week season where there's going to be 2 off weeks, the first one definitely the week after Michigan State, because it's going to take a while for the Penguins to recover from that. Then the Penguins are going to open up the Missouri Valley Conference portion of their schedule. And I got to be honest, the first part of their schedule, not bad. They're going to be home to Western Illinois, and there's going to be a little bit of a revenge factor in this game. Not to mention the fact Western Illinois cowardly quit after getting the victory against Youngstown State. They decided that they would just call it a day after beating the Penguins in the only game that they had a legitimate chance of winning. So I think the Penguins, they're going to want to, they're definitely going to want to get a little revenge from that night in Macomb. And hopefully when Western Illinois comes to Stambaugh Stadium on September 25th, ass kickings will be delivered the entire day. So the Penguins play Western Illinois to start off conference play. They'll go to the Unidome on October the 2nd. That's been a house of pain for the Penguins, as the Penguins will take on Northern Iowa on October the 2nd. October the 9th, Missouri State comes to Youngstown. And again, this is a team that the Penguins would like to come back and give them a butt kicking as well. So those are the first three conference games. We'll be off on the 16th of October. The 23rd of October, Penguins will travel as they will go to Indiana State. They're going to be taking on the Sycamores. So the Penguins will be at Indiana State on the 23rd. Then the final four games in conference play, going to be interesting to say the least. The Penguins will be taking on what could be the defending national champs. Could very well be the defending national champs at Stambaugh. South Dakota State is playing this weekend in the national semifinals. And let me punch this up right now. The Penguins' opponent, South Dakota State, as we mentioned, South Dakota State is the only team left in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. They will be playing a game on ESPN tomorrow at 12 noon against Delaware. South Dakota State will be playing against Delaware tomorrow afternoon at 12 noon. And the winner of that game is going to get the winner of the James Madison Sam Houston State. That game is going to be played in Texas, and that game is going to be broadcast on ABC. So the national semifinals are tomorrow. And again, South Dakota State, pretty good chance of getting to the national championship game and a pretty good chance at winning the national championship. And if they do, then the Penguins would have, hopefully, the defending national champs coming into town on October the 30th in the Jackrabbits from South Dakota State. Then the Penguins take a trip into North Dakota to take on North Dakota on November the 6th. North Dakota State comes to Stambaugh. That's going to be on November the 13th. We can tell you that is a 12 noon start. That's going to be a 12 noon start on Saturday, November the 13th. North Dakota State coming to Stambaugh Stadium. And then on November the 20th, the regular season will finish as the Penguins will venture to Salukiville, USA, Carbondale, Illinois, as the Penguins take on Southern Illinois. So it's a 10-game schedule, 2 off weeks, the week of September the 18th and the week of October the 16th. Those are the off days. September 18 and October 16 will be the 2 off days. Penguins are going to play a 10-game regular season, 5 home games, 5 road games. Now, the Penguins, as we saw, their spring season, it was a little challenging. And again, with a lot of freshmen and redshirt freshmen, there's certainly some growing up to do with the Penguins, but there's also some serious talent that this team has. It's just a matter of growing up. Now, the one thing I'm going to be curious about, and here we are in May, the season starts in August. Again, the regular season, actually it's in September. The regular season starting on September the 2nd. on a Thursday night against Incarnate Word at Stambaugh Stadium. So June, July, August, September, less than 4 months now from the start of the fall campaign. I'll be curious to see between now and maybe a couple of weeks from now how busy this Penguins team is going to be with the transfer portal, with kids coming in as well as coming out of Youngstown State. I'll be very curious to see what happens there. But again, the Penguins have their 10-game schedule finalized, and we just did give it to you. And hopefully the Penguins will have a better fall campaign than they did this past spring with a very disappointing campaign. But again, with a lot of freshmen, you're expecting a team to struggle maybe in the wins and losses department, but they certainly did improve from game one to the end of the season. I saw an awful lot of improvement from that football team, and hopefully we'll get a lot more improvement. Dana Balish reporting that Mineral Ridge girls basketball coach Matt Kloos has stepped down after 5 years, so the job is open with the Mineral Ridge girls basketball position. That job is open. Also saw that the basketball program picked up a recruit along the way. The basketball program picked up a recruit that had played basketball at the University of Dayton. We'll have to get some official word, but I saw that on Twitter last night. One of the kids on Twitter that announced via the Twitter that he was leaving the Dayton basketball program and coming to Youngstown State University. So that was a bit of a surprise. Believe me when I tell you, a bit of a surprise to see that. But the name escapes me, unfortunately. Dwayne Cohill. There we go. Dwayne Cohill. He is a 6'3" basketball player from Parma Holy Name. He left the Dayton program, and he has since been committed to Youngstown State University. And I saw that on Dwayne's Twitter account, a 6'3" guard, and I'm assuming that this kid is still going to be a freshman because he was a Dayton basketball commitment last year. So I'm going to assume that he played. Maybe the assumption is a bad one, but I'm going to believe that he played 1 year in Dayton and used what is now becoming a much more than a fashion statement. It's now becoming a norm for the college kids. And the NCAA is saying now you're allowed to have one mulligan when it comes to your college choice. And Dwayne Cohill last night said, hey, I'm going to Youngstown. And he got himself in a Penguins uniform, has the red Y, and committed underneath his picture with a Penguins white uniform on. So Dwayne Cohill, a 6'3" guard who went to Parma Holy Name. Little surprised that Cleveland State wasn't on the radar, being that Parma is a suburb, I want to say south and a little west of Cleveland. I'm a little surprised that Cleveland State was not on board or tried to convince the young man to stay at home. But once again, Jared Calhoun, he has done a pretty nice job when it comes to recruiting kids from the Cleveland area to get them into Youngstown. And he strikes again as Dwayne Cohill, a Parma Holy Name young man, left the University of Dayton, and he is now headed to Youngstown State. As he had a picture of him in a white Penguins uniform 19 hours ago on his Twitter account, holding a basketball in his hand with the white Penguins uniform on, the red Y on top, committed in bold letters, white letters on the bottom, and then the picture fades to the phrase "next chapter." So look forward to see Dwayne Cohill and what kind of a player he can be. And my goodness, there's some talent at Youngstown State, but young. They're all young, and certainly when we made mention of this when we had Rob Schmidt on earlier in the week, now that Naz Bohannon has decided that he wants to venture off and spend his final year of eligibility playing elsewhere, perhaps a bigger school with a better chance at getting into the NCAA tournament. Now you're looking at a team that has a couple of seniors back, but it's more of a young team. And I mentioned this earlier in the week when we had Rob on, and I'll say it again. I think that Jared Calhoun's best class is the class that he brought in last year, who are going to be freshmen for a second straight year because last year was the gimme year with COVID. And that's the now second-year freshman class of Alex Vargo and Shea Traore, and the kids that came from that class. You got some guards, you got some centers, you got some fours. Obviously, the point guard who is now going to have the responsibility of being the full-time point guard now that Darius Quisenberry has moved on to Fordham. This is a much different Youngstown State team. And clearly, they're not going to have the preseason hype nationally that they had prior to the start of this past basketball season. You're probably not going to see the Dick Vitales of the world touting Youngstown State this year because, well, Youngstown State was the darling of the Horizon League going into this season, and they played well, but they didn't live up to expectations. They were not, they were not the team that a lot of national folks thought they were. Instead, it was Cleveland State, who weren't given the preseason accolades. And Cleveland State just did their own business, behind the scenes, not too much attention paid to them. Then they get off to this tremendous start. They parlay that into a NCAA tournament. Now, it didn't work out for them. They got smoked in the NCAA tournament. But the fact that you get to an NCAA tournament, that means something. And for a school like Youngstown State, who has never gone to an NCAA tournament as a Division I school, that is the summit. That's the summit where the Penguins want to be. They want to go and win the Horizon League tournament to get that automatic berth into the NCAA tournament. That is the place that Youngstown State has not gone. And it would be great if the YSU men got there. And I've said this for years. With all due respect to the 4 national championships the football program has won, the truth of the matter is those 4 championships were 1 AA titles. Nothing wrong with them. They're good titles. They're solid titles. But they were Division I AA titles. You won those championships, but they weren't against the Ohio States, the Michigans, the Notre Dames, the Alabamas of the world. And again, nothing wrong with the championships. They were fantastic championships, but they were Division I AA championships. If the Penguins basketball program, the men's program, when we saw the women's program get in the NCAA tournament 3 times, if the men ever got into the NCAA basketball tournament, this area would lose its ever-loving mind and have Penguin basketball fever for the stretch of 4 or 5 days leading up to the tournament. I think it would just be an unbelievable where everyone would be just giddy with excitement and anticipation, waiting to see what happens. And, if the Penguins were to do something that Cleveland State did back in the mid-'80s with the incredible run they were on, Mouse McFadden and the boys, that went to a Sweet 16 and were screwed out of an Elite 8 appearance on a no-call when David Robinson ran over one of the Vikings on his way to the basket. Yeah, I'm still holding that as a grudge, by the way. It would have been an Elite 8 run. They had a Sweet 16 run. The city of Cleveland in northeastern Ohio, oh, my God, they were behind this team like nobody's business. I mean, this was the talk of northeastern Ohio in the mid-'80s, watching this Cleveland State team who had upset Indiana, and I can't remember the other team they beat, but they upset Bobby Knight in the first round of the tournament as a 4 seed. Cleveland State was a 13 seed at the time, and they upset Indiana and Bobby Knight in his heyday, and then they went to the Sweet 16 as the 13 seed, and they were playing Navy, and that game was back and forth. I think they were up 1 when David Robinson scored what turned out to be the winning shot, but he plastered and ran over one of the Cleveland State kids and knocked him to the ground. No call was made. It was clearly an offensive foul, but there was no call made as David Robinson led the Navy team to the Elite 8. I think they got beat the next day. But Cleveland State in the mid-'80s, that run they were on, I think it was 84, 85. Oh, man, that was a lot of fun. And everyone and their brother was talking about that in northeastern Ohio. And, again, if Youngstown State were to do something like that, oh, my God, that would be amazing. But just to get to the playoffs, to get to that tournament, the amount of money that you get for your conference by and large, but the amount of money that you can get for that tournament, holy smokes! Not to mention the fact that can certainly be a building block for your program. And to be honest, Cleveland State and Wright State and Northern Kentucky have been the teams that have gone to the NCAA tournament the last few years, and I'd be curious to see what this NCAA appearance, albeit a very brief appearance by Cleveland State. They got hammered in their only game, but I'll be curious to see how much dividends is paid by that trip to the NCAA tournament. Hopefully, Youngstown State will be able to do that very, very soon. But like I said, I think being under the radar this year, I think the Penguins will have a much, much better chance at having a much better year, because that all the expectation is now taken away from the Penguins. I don't imagine anyone is going to have much expectation now that Quisenberry has transferred to Fordham. Naz Bohannon is going to transfer out, and he's going to go elsewhere for the final year of his eligibility. And the Penguins are left with a very young team. Yeah, 3 seniors on this team, but still a really, really young team, freshman, sophomore-oriented young team. Be real curious to see just how many folks pick the Penguins middle of the pack in the horizon this year. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. We're back in a bit. It's a Friday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
This is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, why shop anywhere else but Tri-State Ford? Choose from our great selection of pre-owned vehicles. Plus, we've got you covered with our exclusive Tri-State Ford Advantage. It includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty with your pre-owned vehicle and much more. Come see why so many customers from the Tri-State area buy their pre-owned vehicle at Tri-State Ford.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Years ago, Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods began with 3 siblings, a hand-set sawmill, and a few local orders. And while business has certainly changed over the years, what has not are our principles of hard work, craftsmanship, and commitment to quality. At Baird Brothers, we're proud to put our name on the products we create, from moldings and doors to flooring and lumber. Thank you for 60 great years. We look forward to 60 more. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Bad credit, no problem. I can get you approved for a low-interest loan and maybe even a low-payment lease on a new car at the #1 Chevy dealership in Trumbull County for 3 years in a row. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved or come see me, Tony Page, to get a new vehicle today. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
Welcome back to a Friday edition of Running Points presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330 886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. Congratulations as they ran the Trumbull County track meet yesterday. The Trumbull County track meet was held at Lakeview High School yesterday. Congratulations to the McDonald boys. When you consider McDonald is one of the smallest schools in Trumbull County, and yet they were able to defeat every school in Trumbull County. That's not bad. That's not too shabby. McDonald accumulated 132 points en route to their Trumbull County championship at Lakeview High School. Ryan Henry was he's a machine. He threw the shot put 58 feet 10 inches yesterday to win the event. He threw the discus 174 feet 5 inches. No surprise, he won the event there as well. Don Melito won the long jump out of Girard, 21 feet 8 1/4 inches. Congratulations to him. Tristan Weiss from McDonald with a 6-foot high jump. I expected a little bit better with that. With a high jump, I've seen some kids that are able to do a lot better than 6 foot, but 6 foot won the event. Not too shabby. Congratulations to Jacob Snelson from Howland. He pole vaulted 11.5 feet. That's an event. I was at Fitch. It was Austintown Fitch. I was at Fitch 2 nights ago. I was umpiring the freshman game between Boardman and Austintown over at the gorgeous facility at Austintown Fitch. And over behind the baseball field, you had some kids working on their pole vaulting. And they didn't use in pole vaulting, you normally have you have the bar. And the bar is set at a certain level. And the object is to take the stick, run as fast as you can, put the stick into the hole near the bar. The pole bends, you go up and over the bar. Well, they didn't use a bar when they were practicing. They used a rubber band, not like a long rubber band that was up here, but it was also tied down. And if you got caught on it, or on your way down to the landing pit area, and you have the rubber band, underneath your body or something like that, the rubber band is obviously going to fall. If you have a piece of the rubber band, it's going to follow you all the way down to the ground. So it was interesting to see the kids practicing with that. But Jacob Snelson from Howland, pole vaulting 11 feet 6 inches. All right, the 4x800 relay, that would be the 3,200 meter relay team. McDonald winning it. This would be Greg Dixon, Brody Roop, Caleb Dimitrovich, and Eli Street. They ran the 3,200 meter relay in 8 minutes 30 seconds, 8 minutes 30.51 seconds. So congratulations to the McDonald team. The 110 high hurdles, 110 meter high hurdles. Mineral Ridge's Randall Miller wins that. He ran the 110 in 15.75 seconds. Congratulations. All right, you got the 800 meter relay team. McDonald wins that as well. Dominic Shadle, Nathan Gilligan, Dominic Carquito, and Greg Dixon, 1 minute 33.67 seconds for the 800 meter relay team. That's pretty quick. The mile run, the 1,600 meter run, won by Brody Roop from McDonald, 4 minutes 29.42 seconds. The 400 meter relay team. McDonald's Nathan Gilligan, Dominic Shadle, Dominic Carquito, Michael Woloshak, 44.67 seconds. A little bit of a history lesson. Leetonia, early 80s. Curtis Brooks, Sean Sevenick, John Tile, Arnold Brooks, 43.5. Just saying. I'm just saying. They were, but they didn't win a state championship. 43.5 is booking, but they did not win a state championship with the 43.5. They got beat in Columbus. All right, the 400-meter dash goes to Hayden Gibson. Hayden Gibson ran it in 50.32 seconds. I don't know where is Hayden from? Brookfield. No, Brookfield. I'm sorry. Hayden Gibson's from Brookfield. Won the 400-meter dash, and he did it, as I mentioned, in 50.32 seconds. That's pretty quick. The 300-meter hurdles, congratulations to Hubbard's Caden Lowe. Won the event 41.73 seconds. The 800-meter dash was won by Girard's Ricky Marsico. Good God, Ron. Ricky Marsico from Girard, the 800-meter champ, 1 minute 58.4 seconds. The 200-meter champ is Marquand Brown from Harding? Had to have been Harding. Yeah, was from Harding. Marquand Brown won the 200-meter dash, 22.5 seconds. That's quick. That's pretty quick. That is not too shabby. Do we have the 100-meter dash here? Well, I blew right by the 100-meter dash. Marquand Brown won the 100-meter dash, 11.04. Again, that's pretty quick. The 3,200-meter run, Caleb Dimitrovich from McDonald ran it in 10 minutes, 3.14 seconds. That's pretty stout. And the 1,600-meter relay team, McDonald's Greg Dixon, Brody Roop, Eli Street, Brian Fisher, they ran the 1,600-meter dash, 1,600-meter relay, I should say, in 3 minutes, 33.31 seconds. So McDonald wound up winning the Trumbull County Championship. 17 schools competing. McDonald scored 132 points. Howland, the second largest school in Trumbull County, had 91 points. Girard had 61.5, Mineral Ridge 55, Hubbard 54, Warren JFK 43. The largest school in Trumbull County is Warren Harding, and they only accumulated 39.5 points. Man, I'll tell you what, McDonald has a really good, this just in, McDonald has a really good track program, the boys' track program. And their girls' program ain't too shabby either. They finished second to Howland. The Howland girls won the Trumbull County Championship with 103 points. McDonald finished in second with 85. Lakeview third with 72.4 points. 72 points. Harding finished in fourth with 59. And Maplewood finished in fifth with 56 points. Here are your winners, individual winners. The shot put was won by Courtney Clark from Howland. She threw the shot put 41 feet 2 inches. She also threw the discus 107 feet. So a double winner there. Nevea Parisi from Harding won the long jump. She jumped 16 feet 10 inches. That is not too shabby. Not too shabby. The high jump won by Madison Sisler from Howland. She jumped an even 5 feet. The pole vault was won by Howland's Sailor Biggin. She pole vaulted 9 feet 1 inch. The 3,200-meter relay team, first place was Maplewood. Kaylee Richards, Marissa Ventura, Emily Butler, and Abigail Nay. 10 minutes, 3.12 seconds. As a matter of fact, they were 12 seconds better than their nearest competitors. That would be McDonald. The 100-meter hurdles, Faith Birch from Harding won it with a time of 15.44 seconds. The 800-meter relay team was won by Harding. Nevaeh Paris, Faith Birch, Diamond Phillips, Shariah Quilling ran the 800-meter relay in 1 minute 47.06 seconds. The 1,600-meter run was won by Maplewood's Kaylee Richards. Kaylee finished with a time of 5 minutes, 9.10 seconds. That's a damn good time for the mile for the girls. What do we got? The 400-meter relay team. This was won by Niles. Annalise Perez Buxing, Abby Reed, Shalana Randolph, and Shantae Klingscale ran the 400-meter relay in 51.18 seconds. The 400-meter dash won by Chloe Coates from Warren JFK, 1 minute, 0.57 seconds. The 300 hurdles won by Warren Harding's Diamond Phillips, who ran the event in 46.15 seconds. The 800-meter run won by Maplewood's Emily Butler, who won the event in 2 minutes, 22.86 seconds. The 100-meter dash won by Shantae Klingscale. Shantae Klingscale is from Niles. She won the event in 11.75 seconds. Well, that's motoring. 11.75 for a girl's time. That's quick. 200 meters won by Shantae Klingscale as well. Double winner. In the 100 and 200 meter dash, Shantae ran the 200 in 24.43 seconds. Carly Richards won the 3,200 meter dash, doubling up the mile run with a 2-mile run. She won the 3,200 meter dash in 11 minutes, 31.34 seconds. And finally, the 1,600-meter relay was won by Harding. Nevaeh Parisi, Diamond Phillips, Shariah Quilling, and Faith Birch ran the 1,600-meter relay. That's each girl running 400 meters in 4 minutes, 8.32 seconds. So congratulations to the winners in each event in the Trumbull County Track and Field Championships, both boys and girls. And again, congratulations to the Howland girls. They wind up winning this event with 103 points. The McDonald boys getting the job done as they win this event. Perhaps the smallest school in Trumbull County winning the Trumbull County Track and Field Championship with 132 points. 41 points better than their nearest competitor, the second largest school in Trumbull County, Howland High School. That's amazing what McDonald just did. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. We made mention earlier in the show, the baseball tournament drawings will be this weekend. We will have complete coverage of the district tournaments. Anthony and I will be talking about those tournaments coming up on Monday, and we'll have some fun with that as the tournaments will be announced. I think the seedings are going to be announced this weekend. The tournament is going to be drawn on Sunday, and we'll let everyone know who is playing whom on Monday. But I will say there's going to be some interesting interesting matchups, and we have said Division II and Division III, there is going to be an awful lot of talent, and there's going to be an awful lot of teams that should be moving on to the regional tournaments that will not, because even in the Super Size Me districts that we have for the first time, and this is year one, and I truly believe the OHSAA is going to continue on with the supersized districts. I think that they are looking at this, and I think they've gotten a lot of positive remarks from this decision. And whether it was COVID or not, I think the OHSAA did a really good job with this, and I think that it's just going to be better and better as we go down the road with the Super Size Me district tournaments. So instead of one area team going to a regional, now that you have two districts in a Super Size Me district field where two teams are going to be sent to the regionals, now we have an opportunity where perhaps two local teams can get themselves into the regional tournaments. And the truth of the matter is, in Division II and Division III in baseball this year, there are far more than two teams that are good enough to be a regional team. But unfortunately, much like in softball this year, in Division II and Division III, we'll even throw Division IV in there as well. I mean, all four divisions, but locally, D2, D3, and D4, there's going to be a couple of teams that are not going to make it to the regionals, but that doesn't mean that they weren't a regional caliber team. They just, they didn't get the job done in the districts. But there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be left at the altar. Only two teams can go to the regional tournament, and you're going to be sending home some really good programs for sure. And I think in Division II and Division III baseball, you're going to see some really good talent in those two divisions. And I'll be curious to see when who plays whom in the tournament. I'll be really curious to see how they seed everyone locally. I would imagine that Canfield will get the number one seed in the area in Division II. By the way, Canfield still, they're in lockdown, a little COVID situation there, so they're not doing anything until the 11th. I believe they can get out of lockdown on the 11th, which is on a Tuesday. I suppose it's better to have it now than to have it in the tournament because, unfortunately, when you get to the tournament, and we saw this unfortunately happen to Champion in football this year, when you get to the tournament and your team, through no fault of your own, has a COVID outbreak, your season's over. There will be no stoppage of the tournament until the team is able to get themselves, healthy again. There will be no stoppage. Your team will be eliminated. You'll have to be forced to forfeit, and life moves on. And we've seen it happen to one local team in football. Thankfully, we didn't see it happen to any team in boys or girls basketball this year. And hopefully, knock on wood, pray to the sports god, small g, we won't see it this spring, whether it be baseball, softball, track and field, or any spring sport. Hopefully, a team will be able to compete and not be eliminated due to COVID. But Monday, Anthony and I will certainly break down Divisions 1 through 4 in our Super Size Me District baseball tournaments, which will begin 1 week from this coming Monday. Now, this week is supposed to be the last week of the softball regular season. Now, unfortunately, it couldn't come at a worse time because, well, the weather hasn't exactly been cooperating. My game, the varsity game in Springfield between Sebring and Springfield, has already been rained out. I would imagine there's a ton of games that will have been rained out. The rain has finally stopped, but it's still cold. Here in Palestine, it's 47 degrees, and it feels like it's around 40. So it's not a good day to play baseball for sure, let alone softball. And we'll see how many games are going to be played today when we check out the amount of games that we have on the network today. I can't imagine we're going to have a lot of them on the network today. I would imagine most of those games are going to be canceled, or at least a good portion of those games are going to get canceled today. We'll see. But again, this is the last week of the regular season for softball. Next Monday, or this coming Monday, is going to be the start of the softball tournaments. And while we are going to most definitely do a deep dive into the preview of the Division 1, 2, 3, and 4 baseball tournaments, you can bet your bottom dollar we'll also be continuing to preview the softball tournaments as well. So that'll be coming up on a Monday edition of Running Point, and also Anthony will get the little umpire broom that I have. I get a couple of those. So Anthony gets the umpire broom. That's going to be significant because, well, the Indians swept the Royals. So the last time the Indians swept the Royals in a series, the Kansas City Royals were not in existence. The last time the Indians swept a series from Kansas City, this would be when Kansas City had the now Oakland Athletics. The Oakland A's were the Kansas City Athletics up until the late 60s when they moved the team from Kansas City to Oakland, and then Kansas City got their own team, which we now know, the Kansas City Royals. They got the team a couple of years later, and I think it was 1 or 2 years later, they got the Royals. But the last time Cleveland swept a series from Kansas City, you're going to go back to 1960. 62 years ago. 61. The hell are you doing, Ron? 61 years ago, the last time the Indians swept a 4-game series from Kansas City. This was when the Kansas City was the Kansas City Athletics, not the Kansas City Royals. The team now in Oakland, that was the last time the Indians swept Kansas City. So it's been a long time, 61 years since the Indians swept a series from Kansas City, a 4-gamer from Kansas City. So come Monday, Anthony gets a little umpire broom. And here you go. And when you guys sweep us, I can expect that back. All right, 330-886-0813. We do have a couple of games on tap, and also a baseball game that, fingers crossed, will be played, although at Eastwood Field. They do have a tarp, and I'm sure the tarp was put down today, and we should be able to play baseball, although it's going to be a really, really chilly day at Niles for baseball, as the Penguins will be taking on Purdue Fort Wayne, the first of a 4-game series with the Mastodons. That game is going to be later today. We'll get into the games on the network, and we'll hopefully take some phone calls. MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. It's a Friday edition of Running Points presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Erin Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience and comprehensive wealth strategy, we assist our clients attain their goals. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit wrswealthadvisors.com. Good luck, athletes.
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy efficient experts.
If you're looking for a new Ford vehicle, why shop anywhere else but Tri-State Ford? Choose from our great selection of new Ford models. Plus, we've got you covered with our exclusive Tri-State Ford Advantage. It includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty with your new Ford. Come see why so many customers from the Tri-State area buy their new Ford at Tri-State Ford.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State 40 Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
Welcome back to a Friday edition of Running Points presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. The YSU Penguins going to be taking on the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. We got a doubleheader going on at Eastwood. We got a doubleheader today and a doubleheader tomorrow. Game one of this doubleheader is going to be played at 3 o'clock. According to the Horizon League website and the YSU Twitter accounts, the Penguins are going to be playing a doubleheader against the Mastodons starting this afternoon at 3 o'clock. And the nightcap will be at 6 o'clock. And then you have a doubleheader on Saturday against Purdue Fort Wayne. Game one will be played at 2, and Game 2 will be played at 5 o'clock, and then that'll be it for the series. We can tell you that Wright State has already beaten Milwaukee twice. Wright State shutting out Milwaukee in their doubleheader. They've already played and finished their doubleheader, from what I understand. They've already played their 2 games against Milwaukee. They beat them both games 2-0. So Milwaukee is now 13-17 in the standings. The Penguins are 18-14 on a 3-game losing streak, having dropped the final 3 games to UIC. They're in third place at 18-14. Purdue-Fort Wayne is on an 11-game losing streak. They are 6-18 in the league, 9-25 overall. Penguins are 18-14 in the league, 23-20 overall. The Penguins currently in third place. Northern Kentucky is right now in 5th place, although they're just a half a game in back of Milwaukee. Northern Kentucky is to play their series against Oakland, and I'm looking at the schedule. They played a single game today, a doubleheader on Saturday, and a single game on Sunday. That was their schedule. The first game of this series should be concluding here pretty quickly. Oakland and Northern Kentucky were playing today at 12 noon at Oakland. Beginning at 12 noon. And let me see if we can get a final score from that particular game, because the magic number right now is at 7. That is the magic number. The schedule change for Youngstown State is now official. The doubleheader today beginning at 3 o'clock, and the doubleheader on Saturday beginning at 2 o'clock. So that's the Penguins will be playing a doubleheader against Purdue-Fort Wayne. 2 games today, 2 games tomorrow, no game on Sunday. So that's where we are with Youngstown State taking on Purdue-Fort Wayne. And again, the magic number for the clinching of a playoff spot in the Horizon League tournament is going to be at 7, and that is any combination of Penguins victories and Northern Kentucky or Milwaukee losses. And I'm trying to look and see if we can get a final score on that baseball game involving Northern Kentucky and Oakland. And right now, I have not had any luck whatsoever at trying to get a final score on that game. Hopefully, we'll be able to get a final score on that game. But again, the Penguins' current magic number right now is sitting at 7, and that's a combination of Penguins' victories and the 5th place team's losses. Anything that equals 7 will give the Penguins a playoff spot in the upcoming Horizon League tournament. There's 7 teams in the league. Only 4 of those teams are going to be going to postseason. Right now, the Penguins are in 3rd place, just a little bit behind UIC. Wright State looks like they're going to win the conference regular season crown, which will give them the tournament, much like the Penguins softball team winning the Horizon League regular season. Because they won the softball title in the regular season, Youngstown State will be hosting the softball tournament coming up in the near future over at Farmers National Bank Field. Well, the Penguins baseball team, they're not going to be winning the baseball tournament, but they could very well finish in the top 4, which would give them an opportunity to play for a tournament championship. And with that tournament championship comes an automatic berth into the NCAA tournament, something that the YSU baseball team has already done 2 times in their Division I history. They, in the late 90s, they went to the Division I, NCAA Division I baseball tournament, one of the 16 regions. And again, how the tournament works, 16 regions, 4 teams in each region. Each region has a double elimination tournament. Whoever comes out of that goes to a super regional, and you're matched up with another region, and those 2 regional winners match up in a best-of-3 series. Whoever wins the best-of-3 goes to the College World Series. All right, so here are your games for today. Again, Youngstown State will be playing a doubleheader today against Purdue Fort Wayne. Colin Floyd is on the hill in Game 1 for the Penguins. This game is going to start at 3 o'clock. It was originally set for 4 o'clock. It is going to be played at 3 o'clock today. And that game will be heard on ysnlive.com. Richie Giuliano with the play-by-play coming up momentarily. Youngstown State taking on Purdue Fort Wayne in college baseball. And best of luck to the Penguins. Hopefully they can sweep this series and cut into that magic number of 7. 3 softball games are currently on the schedule. At Fitch, it'll be the Boardman girls taking on Austintown Fitch in the beautiful facility at Austintown Fitch, the all-turf field. That game will begin at 5 o'clock. Akron East will come to Youngstown to take on Cheney. That game starts at 5 o'clock. And also, Jackson will take on Louisville at Louisville High School, and that starts at 5 o'clock. All of those games will be on the network. Go to ysnlive.com. Click on Austintown Fitch or Boardman or Cheney or Louisville. You should know the drill by now. You can go to ysnlive.com, click on girls softball, click on, if you're a Fitch fan, Austintown Fitch. If you're a Boardman fan, you click on Boardman. Cheney, click on Cheney, click on Louisville. Those are the teams that are in action beginning at 5 o'clock today. And again, the baseball game, Youngstown State will play Purdue Fort Wayne coming up at the top of the hour. YSU looking to hammer down trying to hammer down one of those 4 spots for the Horizon League tournament. That'll do it for the Friday edition of Running Point. We will talk on Monday. Anthony Hartwig and I will break down the district tournament for baseball, and we'll also preview day 1 of the softball tournament as 2 divisions will be in action starting Monday, weather permitting. And we'll talk a little bit about that as well. That'll all be coming up on Monday. Thanks for tuning in on the Friday edition of Running Point, and you have yourself a great weekend. We'll talk on Monday, noon to 3, Running Point on ysnlive.com. See ya.